Morning, everybody. Jeff from Rust Bucket Valley Garage. If you can't guess, it's raining here in Los Angeles. So we're going to do a little video. Some of it's going to be outside, and then if it starts pouring us again, then we're going to move inside. But we are fully registered with the state of California. We have our license plates, and we were managed to take the JK on a little shakedown cruise. We found a couple of things that we want to take and work on, so we have a go-do list. One of the things that we wanted to do was we wanted to mount a front license plate. Here in People's Republic of California, you have to have front and rear license plate. On the Bucket T, it's got a drop axle, and to take and mount the license plate on there, we got these pieces from Speedway Motors. So it's going to go here on this bar. So we're going to open these up, and they have screws in the back. It can go on here, and then we can take and put the license plate right here in the middle. It won't interfere with the winch or the headlights or the cooling for the radiator. So we're kind of excited to take and get those on. Another thing was we always send the vehicles after a crash for a wheel alignment. The steering wheel was off center. Not this bad, but we had a light on the dash that showed traction control, and the steering wheel was off center, so there was like a disagreement between the way the wheels tracked and the way the steering wheel was. So there's a sensor in there that told us something was going on with the traction control, so we had a light on there. So we went ahead and we had the wheel alignment done, and then we used our computer to hook up to it to the OBD, and we reset the code for the traction control. So that light went ahead and went off. As we were driving around, we had to, if you watch the previous videos, how can you fail a smog test when your car is running well? Okay, I talked about the various criteria that the onboard computer goes through as a check to take and check the evaporative emission system, catalytic converter, the O2 sensors, and then there's other things that it checks. This one here has 8 criteria. It took a long time driving it around on a temporary permit from DMV to get those things to close. It turns out we had to drive 130 miles around town on temporary permits and on the freeway and everything, after we got our brake and lamp inspection and everything, to get our smog ready. So there are 8 criteria on this one right here, and the last one to close was the evaporative emissions. So it doesn't run that test very often. So when it does, then it closes that criteria. So it finally did after 130 miles. Another thing that popped on was the airbag deployment light. So we went ahead and, with help, we troubleshot that. And we found out that this seatbelt retractor here that we had Safety Restore in Maine rebuild for us and did an excellent job wasn't the only thing that was wrong with the system. We were getting a seatbelt retractor open. We were getting 2 codes, one for the passenger seat, one for the driver's seat. We found out that if you look right here, you'll see the seat buckle here. This one here does not have a pretensioner in it. Okay. However, the passenger seat does. and that one was blown actually. Um, so that one was visibly blown. So the um, the element had retracted it, and it was really obvious, once it was pointed out that by a person we brought in to give us a hand, that it was blown. You see how this one right here is kind of free, and it's also up off of the seat. And this one right here was not. It was kind of scrunched down in this little well right here. So that's a sign that it's blown. So we went ahead and removed the seat, took that out, and that wasn't the only thing that was going on. The seat belt, lap belt on the driver's side. If you look at this, if you pull on this, this deploys. Okay, no problem. Okay. On the driver's side, it did the same thing. However, when we took and put an ohm meter across the charge, you have to lift up a little shorting bar that's in the connector, and you checked the resistance on that seat belt. You'll see that the charge in the seatbelt retractor did not deploy that will take and actually lock this belt in position, but what it will do is it will go ahead and break the filament that actually heats up and deploys the charge. So that was open. So those two items, the seatbelt buckle and the lap seat belt for the driver, are at Safety Restore right now in Maine, and they're being fixed and rebuilt. So the next thing that we found was that, you notice the dash here is taken apart. The radio wasn't working properly, so it would play for about 2 seconds and then it would stop. Okay. So in doing research on the internet, okay, if you look at this connector right here, okay, you'll see these wires here on the side are the speakers, and these are the power wires. Okay, from what the internet says, if there is a short in one of the speakers, that there's a circuit inside the radio that will shut off the amplifier, and you will not have any sound out. However, other operation will be completely fine. Okay, so we went ahead and we checked each individual speaker, and everything proved out okay. Okay, so we completely removed the radio, and we took it in our electronics shop. And let me show you what that looks like. So this is our little electronics area where we take in and work on electronic things that we pull out of vehicles, and if they can take and be repaired, we go ahead and do the repair here. So a replacement radio or an exchange radio for the 2013 Jeep JK is about $500. Okay. This radio was acting up, so we actually had nothing to lose to take the entire thing apart. So this is the main board in it, and if you can look at it, it's all mostly surface mount technology, which is very, very itty bitty tiny parts. This thing has also got a coating on it to keep the environment out of there. We're going to go over, we have a microscope here, so we're going to go over this whole thing. All these little parts down here are resistors and capacitors. So they're put on by a machine, and they wave solder this whole thing. And I was in the aerospace industry for quite a long time. We've done thousands of these boards. Pretty reliable way to get things together very quickly. Okay. This is the radio chassis. Okay, it goes in the dash. This right here, you're looking at the top of it. This is the bottom of it. This is a CD player unit. So this right here is the face. This is called the radio head. Okay, it has all the control functions on it and everything, and this actually plugs into a connector right here on the main board. Um, in looking at this, on the top of the dash, there is a little place, a little indentation in the dash with like a cup holder in it where you can take and set coffee or cola, something like that. Um, it turns out that the condition that we found in the radio was intermittent, that it would play for about 2 seconds and then would cut off. And then we tap on it and stuff, and then we could get it to play for another couple of seconds, and then it would cut off. Well, that is not really a component failure. That is a loose connection. Okay. We have more of the surface mount stuff. This is actually the back of the board. Um, what we found on this is that when this is sitting in the dash, the cup holder is right above this. Somebody took and had a wet container that had either coffee or cola in it, and some of the liquid dripped down and took and went through here. You can see the liquid marks right here, and it dripped down onto the circuit board here, and it corroded one of the traces in half. Okay, so you can see each one of these little dots in here is about a 1/16 of an inch in diameter, and there is an electronic trace coming into them and going out of them. So you can actually see there is a white streak on here, which is the material, and right in this area right here there is corrosion where one of the traces is broken. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use isopropyl alcohol and some Q-tips, and we're going to clean all the schmutz off of here, and then we're going to take and put a jumper wire over this trace right here, and it will allow the radio to take and return to normal function. Okay, because the rest of the radio seemed to be okay. So basically, we absolutely had nothing to lose by taking this whole thing apart, and by taking it apart and giving it a once or twice over, we actually saved $500. So if you run into a problem, dive into it a little bit. Don't be shy. I encourage you to use all the resources you have. Ask for help. If you have any friends that have expertise, they can take and help you out, and you'll learn something from it, save a couple of bucks. The last thing that we have to take and work on is one of the air dams inside the heater boxes over driving. So what we're going to do is we think there is a difference in a sensing resistor that is in the actuator we got from AutoZone and the actuator that you actually get from Mopar. So the one from AutoZone is $26. The one from Mopar is $94. So try to save a couple of bucks there. Yes, the thing works. It gives us an error code that says that the air door is overdriving, but we're going to take and fix that. We're going to take and make the sense circuit in there a little bit more sensitive by changing that resistor in there, and then it should work perfectly. But anyway, I hope I've given you enough information, so if you come into a project, you can take and save a couple of bucks, and I really encourage you to take a stab at it. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, And since the weather's so bad outside, please be careful out there. Talk to you next time.